Transbot is another of those games I've had for years but never played. I got it back in 2012 with my Master System. Of course, as said back in the Mortal Kombat video, I only have a Master System 2, which can't be recorded, so I've had to buy the converter so I can play them on my Mega Drive and record it from that. This game actually has a little story. In the year 2000 there was a nuclear war, remember that? The survivors are emerging from underground to rebuild, but a remaining computer from the war, Dalhouse, has survived and is trying to create an empire of its own to take over the world. An unknown pilot flying a CA-214 Starfighter is the only one who can stop it. The game is a side-scrolling shooter. First enemies I have is waves of spiky things to shoot down, followed by some orb things that will maybe sometimes fire a single shot. Vehicles will drive along the ground and when destroyed will drop an item that starts off a roulette. I have to press the button to stop it between the letters A to G. I first land on C, which has the ship transform into the titular Transbot. It makes me a slightly bigger target, but it replaces my regular shot with a spread that takes up a third of the screen. After a bit we get these spinning cubes, but the Transbot wipes them out. After a bit I land the roulette on D, which returns me to the original shape, but firing missiles. These are still better than the regular shot as they keep going after they hit an enemy, but this has ammo that runs out quickly. Once the level's terrain changes, I start having these missiles fly at me followed by green bubbles. Then these four-pronged things that when shot will multiply and reflect the shot back at you. After those, the terrain goes back to how it was before. I also die. It takes a few hits before you die. On respawning I get it to land on F, which also turns me into the Transbot, but with a single shot that comes out both sides. Nowhere near as good as landing on C. E is another spread gun with the Transbot, but this one isn't as good. It doesn't have the range that C does. After that I land on A, which just reverts you to the normal mode. Soon after I die again. Once I respawn I get B, which shoots a small ring that isn't that much more useful than my normal shot. And then there's G, which is an ammo refill for your current weapon. That's all of them. One thing I'm noticing at this point is that this level is going on for a while, and eventually I game over having been on this level for nearly 10 minutes. Second time might last longer, but then the game just stops and boots me back to the title screen. I have no idea what's going on at this point. I know it's not the end of the game because there's a second level shown in the demo mode. I try it again and the same thing happens, so I looked up a long play to see what I was doing wrong. Turns out I need weapon D, the missile. So here I am getting it as early as I can and refusing to fire so I don't run out of ammo when I need it. I need to destroy all the enemies that reflect my shots, and D is the only weapon that can do that. How does the game communicate that this is how you're supposed to progress? It doesn't. Maybe the manual says, but it happened to be the one Master System game I got in that bundle that didn't have the manual. This time, if they're destroyed, there's a little hole in the ground I can fly into to enter the base. We have mushroom looking things and I make sure to get weapon C again as quick as I can. There's also these green enemies that enter from my side of the screen so I can't just hug the wall anymore. They can also shoot though and lead to my first death. And my second. Right after respawning I meet the first and only boss of the game, El Gramzon. Looking like an AT-ST from Star Wars, this is basically what controls Dalhouse. He doesn't do much, just slowly moonwalking back and forth shooting slow baseballs at me. And then he's blown up. That's it, no ending, the game just loops forever after this. Transbot is a primitive game even by the standards of the Master System back in 1985. Only 2 levels and a nothing boss. And yet despite being such a simple game, making the only bit of progress you can is a ball ache. The transforming ship is a cool idea, but it's pointless when one of the 5 options is just superior to all the others. Forgettable, but at least it isn't forgettable and long, so it slightly edges out of a Super Spy.